I was more open format. I was really like chasing the selection style for a couple years. Like I loved hip hop and R&B edits, and I still do. But that that lane I was getting a little tired of. Like there aren't too many songs in hip hop and R&B that are really exciting for me anymore. At least that you can play in a club setting.
What's up, my people? We're here checking in today with another episode of Inside the Vibe. I'm Yoru. Our guest today is a DJ, founder of the Third Floor Sounds, music enthusiast, and event director. I give you TMD,
Hey, I
also
like
known
it.
as Tyler.
Glad to be here. Thank you for the nice introduction.
Not a problem, not a problem. Thank you so much for coming
Of
out. I
course.
know it's made a trek across not the pond, but the bridge
I've
from New
been to
York.
Penn Station plenty enough, so
Okay,
it
so
was smooth. Yeah.
dope. So you know how to get over here. So first off, how you doing today, man?
Good. It's been a nice weekend. Went out last night, but I had a early bedtime.
Same.
So yeah, nice, beautiful weekend. No complaints.
I was in bed much earlier than I usually am because I wanted to make sure I was properly prepared for today.
I
And
hope.
yeah, I think I made a good decision. I still got my coffee, but I feel like I'm ready to go. So let's do it. Let's do it.
Cool.
Before we start with the questions, I want us to really dive into our original game, I like to think, called Set the Flow. I'm going to ask
Okay.
you some quick questions, nothing too critical or heavy, just for the audience to get a better feel of who TMD is, right?
I tried not to look, so these
Okay.
will be authentic
Let's
answers.
do
Go
it. Let's
ahead.
do it. All right. So first, if you had one album that you could listen to for the rest of your life, what album would that be?
I'm a big fan of Hiatus Coyote.
Okay.
I think it's called Choose Your Weapon. It's
Choose your
one of their
weapon.
early ones with like I think there's like a gorilla or a monkey on the cover. That's
Got
the
you.
one I play on repeat all the time.
What kind of like energy is that music? Is it like high, low, or is it
It's
like
slower. It's like neo soul, but I'm
okay?
a percussionist by trade, so the drums are just like incredible.
So you play instruments?
I played drums since I was 7, so I
Wow.
stopped in college because I just didn't have the
Yeah.
time for it. But that helped me with DJing later on.
I feel like people who really like music, the gateway instrument is either piano or drums.
I wish I did piano because now like I try to produce a little bit, but like music theory and chords are just very complex. But
Yeah.
drums help with like the fundamental like beat matching and
Yes,
the
yes.
rhythm I have.
I used to play the piano. My favorite song to play was I actually had a competition with my boy Brandon, like because he's just like musically inclined.
Yeah.
So in high school, to impress impress the Johns, we go home and try to learn music. So like the first song we learned was in the morning,
Okay.
and then we learned No Church in the Wild. Like really, maybe like the first 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes
It's
because
a
the
long
song's not
time.
that long.
Easy
The
five
first like
minutes.
20, 30 seconds because like a repetitive beat.
Yeah.
And then he learned Ego, and that's when I lost because I couldn't keep up with
Yeah,
it.
it's a
So
little step up there.
yeah, I was hating for sure, but he won that round. All right, so next thing we got is being able to talk to animals or being able to speak any language.
I would say any language. That one's easy for me. I've spoken with my girlfriend about this, but like we have a cat,
Okay.
and I don't know. We have a great relationship with him, and I feel like if he were able to speak to me, it would just get a little weird.
Yeah.
You know, like I like guessing how he's feeling, what he wants. But
Okay.
I
Just
travel
checking
quite a
for
bit. Like we're going to Japan in a couple weeks, so
fire.
if I was able to just
Yeah.
fluently speak, get around, I feel like it would be able to connect with people rather
Yeah.
than
And you
animals
could
for sure.
probably finesse the language because I think language you can, depending on like the depth of that power, that could be frequencies. You could maybe
Mm,
find a way to speak to animals, like circumvent,
maybe
the choice. So
loophole, yeah.
yeah, I'm with you. What's one skill you believe everybody should have?
Everybody. I feel like maybe cooking. I'm not really great at cooking. I've been kind of trying to improve that over the last
Yeah.
couple of years, but once you grow into adulthood, it's like really helpful. I feel like
Absolutely.
we underestimate that.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
we hit our like mid 20s, like eating out adds up. So
Yeah.
I feel like cooking is like great. Just like baseline, like I don't know, a set of like 10 to 15 go-to meals would like really
Yeah,
make a difference.
really helps to not only unbig your back, but also just prepare for what's next. Like I just started my cooking journey like earlier this year. I used to be able to only make like a mean bowl of cereal. Now I can make
Yeah, yeah.
rice, chicken, vegetables. Like for myself, I'm not advertising my skills just yet because, but I'm on my process.
We'll
So
get there.
we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes. Favorite movie or series to rewatch?
Series. I just rewatched Blade Runner 2049. I've seen the sequel more often than the first one,
Got
but
it.
that one I always look at it a little differently. there's a lot of unanswered questions and like thoughts about like what makes someone human
Yeah.
and whatnot. So I really enjoy those. The first one was shot really well for the time.
Dope.
Even had some cool like monologues that were unscripted. So I enjoy watching those.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
So if you were running for office, what would your slogan be?
That's tough. My dad is actually a legislator in Long Island.
Really?
I forget what his quote is. I should know. I don't know. Something about like keeping it real, because like
Okay.
politics, there's always like hidden agendas and something
Yeah.
like that. So just like Mom Donnie's kind of running on a very honest campaign, like
Yeah.
something about keeping it real.
I can get
Yeah.
that. I can get that. Okay. I'd vote for you. I'd vote for you.
Thank you.
So, what is a food that you hate that most people like?
I get made fun of this a lot. I'm not big on mushrooms, and it's not the flavor, it's the texture. I know there's like plenty of different kinds, but something about it just doesn't sit right with me.
Okay.
But when I ask for something without it, it's always like,
Well, I'm under the belief that I only think evil people eat mushrooms. I'm not a mushroom guy.
yeah, I knew I liked
think
you.
it's
I knew I liked you.
I think it's weird. Like you can trick me into eating mushrooms,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
don't put it on
Cut
my
it up,
plate.
put it in fried rice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you even like I don't know if mushroom powder is a thing, but if you finesse me, it's almost like cheese. I'm also the same way with cheese.
Okay, okay.
I don't like cheese, but I think good people can eat cheese. It's a texture thing for me.
Cheese
Like,
too.
I think cheese is in the family of mayo, and I hate mayo too.
Okay.
So that's why I can't eat potato salad. I can't eat egg salad.
I'm a stan of mayo, but like
Yeah.
I'm not super pro. Like
And
I respect it.
You can also trick me with mayo. Like if you put very little and then show it to me after you know there was mayo in this, I'm like, you got me. But you can't let me see that there's mayo in there.
But mushrooms are more evil.
Yeah, mushrooms
Okay,
are more
okay.
evil. Don't put
Agreed.
mushrooms on my plate because then we'll have to have another discussion.
All right.
Okay, last one I have for you is girlfriends or guy friends.
I've been told that I'm a girl's guy sometimes.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I tend to like connect with women a little bit more in my day to day. I have like a pretty good balanced friend group,
Yeah.
but I find that they're a bit more like empathetic in nature, whereas guys tend to be a little more like broy and rough around the
Yeah.
edges. And not until like maybe the past couple years have I found men who are a bit more like emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
So now it's more balanced, but in general, before I would connect with women a little bit more.
Yeah, I think for me, being that most of like my closest friends are women, it's a good balance of both. That empathetic intelligence has been fine tuned. Being around women, having understanding of how to connect to not only my own emotional side and meet people where they are better, but then you also kind of still need that guy time because we're guys. So I do need a locker room, but then I also sometimes need something adjacent to like a therapy office or like sit in front of like a professional where we can kind of exchange informations and build and like upgrade myself a little bit mentally. So that balance I think is great. So
Yeah, I'm like a night in chat kind of guy than like a go out sports game kind of guy.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely both in I would say like a healthy appetite of both, but like on my day to day, I'm definitely more let's just chill in the crib and have a conversation, maybe get some food, stuff like that. Cool. All right, I'm with that. So that's set the flow. That's all the questions that we have.
I got deep towards the end. That wasn't
Yeah,
too
you know,
light.
wasn't too
Yeah,
bad, not
yeah.
too bad. So I think where I want to start today is I was doing some researching, not to Third Force Lounge, but kind of Third Force Lounge, also some of the things you've kind of spoken on, articles you've been a part of being featured in, and really just trying to figure out who Tyler is. Because I mean, we've met through Shaq, and I've seen you in passing, and I've always thought the concept was cool, but I wanted to have this conversation to maybe get more of an insight into how you feel about where the space is going and kind of how you show up in it. So I want you to take me to the beginning, right? Take me to where you grew up. What aspects of your upbringing do you feel had the most influence on your musical taste and really how the way you interpret sound today?
That's a great question. There are definitely a couple things. The one I speak about most is like my dad's influence.
Yeah.
He grew up in New York. He was like a club kid, music lover. So he had a huge collection of music, physical music primarily,
Wow.
CDs. And yeah, growing up, music was always playing and present in the house. We even had these like, there might be some videos online somewhere, but like we would have kitchen dance battles.
Oh, yeah, you got to have that with family.
He always encouraged us to like, you know, express ourselves, be ourselves, not be afraid of judgment. Like if we were afraid to sing a song, he'd be like, "Come on, it's just us, like do it." So his taste, of course, he would always play music, playing the drums as we were talking about earlier. I started pretty early on. Funny story. The reason I started playing drums is because I was always tapping on the desk,
Okay.
and the teachers would get sick of me. One of them even called my mom and was
Oh,
like,
that's
"He
hate.
won't stop." Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they suggested me taking like private lessons
Okay.
before band class was a thing. I think
Yeah.
that came in like fourth or fifth grade.
Yeah, yeah, that is. I don't
Um,
remember doing that earlier than that.
yeah, and they wouldn't even let me play until fifth grade because fourth grade, I don't know, wasn't
Oh, they
allowed.
didn't let you play the drums?
No, it was
Yeah.
like a mature choice or
You don't
something.
need to be mature
I
to do
know.
something. I was doing it already.
Yeah, so I got a drum pad. I would kind of start, tapping, learning rudiments. And that's where like once you start playing drums, you hear the drums more in
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
So then I would like learn, different time signatures. I would hear beat switch ups and whatnot. So I was always like drawn to like bass and snare and things like that. And lastly, which I don't speak about a lot, I had a babysitter in elementary school, and she was a B girl.
Okay.
Um,
What's a B girl?
she was like a B boy, like break dancer,
Oh,
like a B
oh, okay.
girl.
No, I didn't know they had B girls. That's cool.
Yeah, 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 they got whole crews and everything.
Really? All right.
And sometimes my parents would let her take me to competitions.
That's fire.
So like the one I remember most was 5 Points.
Okay, yeah.
It was like a big warehouse with like graffiti on it. It got I think it got bought out and they covered up the art, which was really sad. But they would have like full on break dance. They would do like house dance, even like light feet.
Hmm.
But hearing the music that they would play at these competitions was just crazy. Like you'd hear breakbeat, hip hop, even some Latin sometimes.
Hmm.
So being exposed to that culture and community was like I felt like I was in like Step Up too. Like it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
literally
yeah.
that. Like you'd have people repping and like little beefs and stuff. All those combined, definitely like I was like a music head super early on.
That's cool. And I feel like it speaks to your approach to third floor sound. Like, I feel like there's a very varied styles of DJ, the music they like, even when you have performances, because you grew up, your origin has all these different sounds from all these different walks of life. Even how your father really embraced you to really lean into who you were and don't be afraid to try. I think having makes you kind of more open and more, I guess, permeable to different sounds that may not even be your particular cup of tea, but you kind of see the value in what they can bring to third floor sounds and even just to like music in general.
Yeah,
So I feel
no.
like that's great to have like a foundation that allows you to explore that in that way.
It's good to just like be familiar and know certain things, even if it's not
Absolutely.
your cup of tea. So I
Yeah.
like just experimenting a bit.
Yeah, I think understanding not even in just like the realm of music really can allow us as a people to really meet at wherever everybody is. So I think having that in your beginning is like really, really dope.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Shout out to your pops. So next thing what I want for you. Can you walk us through the behind third floor sounds, right? So how did you get the name and the mission behind it? I know we spoke to how your origin, and I see some like synergies there, but I want to hear it from you. How did you get the name, and how did you craft the mission behind third floor sounds?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. Actually, I put it in like the first post I ever did, but people don't read.
Yes, I went back
Um,
to that actually. I
yeah, I
went
don't know
back
if
to
it's
that.
still there, but yeah, in the first home I had in Baldwin, Long Island, on the third floor was our attic, and that was where
Okay.
my dad had his like CD player and speaker, and he would work a lot. He would always keep music on for me to like distract me, but also to just showcase his collection.
Yeah.
So I call it third floor sounds because I was exposed to all of those different sounds and music on the third floor of my house.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
what I tried to communicate with third floor is like that was my musical discovery period or place per se, and I want that to be similar for people who step into third floor events. Like I want them to discover new music, new artists, connect with their community. So kind of a place where you can again explore, learn, and discover music. So it's like a safe space.
I like that. I like that. So kind of really a literal sense, but also a deeper meaning of your own journey and walk through how you interact and kind of experience music.
Yeah, and I actually need to do one on a third floor. I've done one on like first floor, a basement, fifth floor. We need to do one
Yeah.
on a third floor one day.
Yeah, that would be like full circle moment.
Yeah.
Full circle moment. So having experienced the third floor event myself, I see that there's like an undeniable, I would say, organic energy in the room that really does a great job of capturing the feel of what you guys are trying to do in front of a camera. But it also doesn't disrupt the moment as it occurs. How do you find that balance of creating those moments but not overly producing them?
Yeah, it was a challenge from the beginning, but I think it started with like, for one, like the right community of people. So I know you came to like volume 4, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah,
It started off as just close friends. It was like a soft run. Then I would invite some new friends or acquaintances, so it became friends of friends, and then eventually to this day we've opened it up to the public. But it started with the right people. You know, I set the right intention, and I'm pretty sure almost every invite I sent out in the beginning, I really explained what I was trying to do. It wasn't just
yeah.
like I'm having a party pull up. It was like, I'm putting together this new platform to showcase DJs and explore all different genres of dance music. Like, come to dance, come to meet new people. I would include some elements like, of course, like keep your phone away.
Yeah.
Um, Another way I do it is like kind of by keeping, I think we were speaking about this earlier, like the setup to be a little bit more minimal.
Yeah.
The camera's not like, there's one camera for the most part. There aren't like production lights or anything like that. I try to keep it organic but also face people away. There are pros and cons because it feels kind of funny like if you look to the DJ and see their back. But at the same time, I personally do it because a lot of people are looking to the DJ like they're this like rock star, and to a
Yeah.
certain extent, they can be and they are. But back in the day when my dad was clubbing, it was just about the music. You weren't looking at them per se, like they were tucked away in a corner or on a balcony or something. So I like the fact that if they're not looking at their face, they'll look to the person next to them.
Yes.
And if they don't have their phone in their hands, the next thing to do is like speak to someone
Yeah.
or like look at someone
There's no
rather than.
safety.
Yeah, and it can be awkward for some people. Like I've even had people DM me like, I'm afraid to come on my own. Like actually I made it so that people couldn't bring plus ones in the beginning because I wanted them to meet one another.
Yeah.
So when you come by yourself, have to put your phone away, maybe or maybe not have a drink in your hand, you make new friends. You're forced to dance or you might jump in a circle where you otherwise wouldn't. So those are a couple of ways I try to make it more of like a real experience while also recording it to share some of those fun organic moments online.
I think one element you touched on is the positioning of the DJ with his back to the crowd is something I like a lot because in party culture and event culture, period, I think like a classist element has penetrated it where you have people looking to the DJ to kind of, there's all this pressure on the DJ to provide a energy in the room.
Yeah.
And it's almost now taken off of the crowd where it's like, we're going, oh, the DJ better play this. I hope I hear this song. Like there's the party goers don't put the onus on themselves where I feel like a lot of times if you go to a party and when I've gone with my friends, if we're like, yo, it's going to be lit, we're going to have a good time. More often than not, we have a good time because we have the energy to make it a good time. But when you go to an event and you put the onus on the event curator, the venue, the bartender, the DJ, if these things all go in alignment, we're going to have a good time. That never is what happens. So I think when they don't check the energy that they bring to the event, you're almost dooming yourself to not have a good time because you weren't even able to receive the components that would allow you to kind of make the memory and experience a great time. I think that's lost.
I don't even have much to add. You broke that down perfectly. Like I don't. It varies by scene. There's the Manhattan versus Brooklyn scene, but
Yeah.
also like dance and electronic versus like hip hop, R&B, or even like Afrobeat. But yeah, there's a weird energy. Like some DJs really lean into it and do it well. Like they are performers and people come to see them dance or like see how they look and
Yeah.
things like that. Which like I respect. If you can like capture a crowd and like keep eye contact all while
That's
mixing, like
great.
good on
Yeah.
you. But like I'm really there to like share a curated, set or playlist of music that I've been like working on or digging lately. So like I want to let the music speak, but it's become a lot harder to let the music speak for itself because like again, people are looking at you or don't come in with the right intention. So when you set the intention and put like positive, good, open-minded people in a room,
Yeah.
that's where the magic happens.
And I think the way you created this environment before where you have people who you started with really close friends and now it's close friends of close friends. So you kind of have an infrastructure where the founding members are people who have, maybe not physical skin in the game, but emotional skin in the game because, oh, I know Tyler, I know people who are showing up. Like, I was here from the beginning. So it's almost like this, bring your own energy, like BYOE kind of thing that starts.
I might use that. That's
So now you have everybody's like, no, we know this is going to be a good time. The people who don't know are the people who are kind of trying to become a part of our environment. So now that we have already set the precedent, you kind of feel like, no, like this is cool. I can kind of fit in and be a part of the energy, not expecting to have it cultivated for me, but help cultivating that when I get there. And I think if more people who attended events kind of had this approach, we would have more fun because I feel like now we just come to these parties, we pay for something and expect the product to fulfill us, but we don't come there expecting or being open to being fulfilled. So it's now, okay, he didn't play my song, they're not playing my music, I'm not gonna have a good time.
I would vote for you. This is a great campaign.
Thank God I don't do politics.
Yeah, you need to share that more with people. I mean, yeah, it's tough. There are like so many parties to go to, so many DJs to check out.
Yeah.
You got price to consider, but yeah, I think a lot of it is on the party goers.
It's kind
it
of
could
almost
help.
like the fake sense of options that we see with social media. I'm sure there's like 15 different parties to go to today, tomorrow, Monday, and maybe a quarter of those will be good. But a lot of those parties won't be good because the people aren't coming prepared to have a good time. They're demanding a good time be force fed to them. So
Like a hot take, but not really.
yeah, because I know we deep down we all believe it. We just don't want to take accountability for that. Our happiness is our own to kind of curate.
And it only takes like a couple people to
Yeah.
like show you. Like I can name drop plenty of people from Third Floor Sounds, but once they show off a dance move or make that circle
Yeah.
or like introduce themselves, you see someone's energy shift entirely. Whereas
Entirely.
like they were in the corner, they weren't talking. Now they've got 4 new friends, and now they're coming with those friends to the next event.
And it's like a family.
Yeah.
Now it's like a whole world that we've created that I met through Third Floor Sounds. And I think we just need to kind of be open to fostering that more because that's how we bring back the fun in parties and the fun in social events where now it's become something different where everybody's saying we're not having a good time, but you're choosing to not have a good time. You're not taking accountability for that's what's actually happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
New campaign to come.
So in such a fast-paced scene, because I feel like I see a lot of recorded sets that sort of try to emulate that, I would say, produced DJ event where people are looking. The way I kind of view it is like we're trying to showcase that we're having a good time, but I don't really know if you're having a good time.
Yep, it's hard to tell.
So now, how do you personally approach like competition or comparison to other bodies who are kind of maybe in the Third Floor Sounds lane of how you guys are approaching it, or even just maybe not in the lane but feel that you guys are competitors? Like, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely taken off the format, and I'm definitely not the first to do it. There were plenty that came before me, and I've even openly said I've been inspired by. I'd say I'm not too worried about competition per se, but comparison is definitely a tricky game because my timeline, I mean, I'm sure is flooded with this stuff. Like once the algorithm knows what you're doing, so I know about all of them: New York, West Coast, even like UK, Japan, whatever. I really, again, you pointed this out earlier, like you can either really lean into like making it a good experience for people, or you can chase views to a certain extent. There's ways to capture both, and a lot of it is really just like luck and timing.
Yeah.
So again, I really just try to focus on the experience, finding unique spaces, inviting the right people, choosing who I believe to be the best DJs who are like deserving of that platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't try to chase the views, although like I've been, rewarded and gotten lucky for certain moments. The biggest one, the catalyst was Volume 4 at Extra Butter in the Lower East Side.
I don't know if it was Quinn or Shek who sent it to me, but I'm actually in the video that you're referencing.
You are, yeah, on the left side with
Yeah,
Derek.
and I was like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny because I don't remember who sent it to me, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, I was there and I didn't even remember that it was being recorded. I remember because when Shek invited us, he was like, hey, like, there's this event, no phones. I'm like, okay, cool. And I get there, and at first, the camera's like a little bit like, okay, we're being recorded, so now I feel like, I'm under watch. But then sometimes you catch a feel with music that you kind of forget where you are. Like, and in this situation, it was a positive experience when that happened. And, everybody's just dancing. It's like there were no words. Everybody just knew the music. knew the steps, and it just went. And I felt like that's like the organic moments that make Third Floor Sounds what it is. And I don't think, even in experiencing more of the event, a lot of people were just having regular conversations they would have when the camera is off. So I think the way that you have approached that has bear the fruit of having multiple viral events that kind of helped elevate the culture and the brand of like Third Floor
Yeah,
Sounds.
thank you. You know, you were the reason. I think it was you and Quinn. Um, I joined in, but most people think I saw what was going on behind me. I didn't know. I just saw you guys to the right, so I jumped in, and they're like, "How's the DJ like on beat with the crowd?" And then I saw it afterward, and I was like, "Wow, like that's a
Yeah,
clip."
that's fire.
Um,
That's fire.
but yeah, so it's great when those moments happen. I don't chase them, nor do I try to edit the videos to really focus on them. Some are fun, funny, and I'll highlight those, you know,
Yeah,
because I have to. But I really just try to showcase the best moments, the best DJs. And I can hope, you know, that, you know, the right people or brands or whoever
catch
are
it too.
watching.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's a dangerous game to compare, but I try not to because again, for me, this is like a passion project. It's not my full-time job, luckily. I'm privileged in that like I can do these fun things and DJ on the side outside of work. I just really like appreciate when things work and an event goes well. But yeah, I try not to really think about it too much.
do you feel that, I know we're talking about competition and comparison, do you feel like the people in your space, whether they're competitors or people who at this point maybe you've inspired or have it, or you've been inspired by, do you think your reception by not the I would say not the public but your peers,
Mm.
do you feel like that's been more positive or
I would say so.
negative?
Yeah. I mean, all my friends, of course, have asked me to like be on the show and
Yeah,
things like that. A lot of them asked to attend first, which I appreciate. I want you to like experience the event before you DJ it.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say it's positive because for me, it also was a pivot in my personal DJing
Yeah,
style. So I was more open format. I was really like chasing the selection style for a couple years. Like I loved hip hop and R&B edits, and I still do. But that lane I was getting a little tired of. Like there aren't too many songs in hip hop and R&B that are really exciting for me anymore. At least that you can play in a club setting. But also, I wanted to go back to my roots a little bit, where my dad would show me a lot of these old school house mixes and whatnot, and those kind of, I don't know, struck something in me that I was really excited by. So I decided to almost like 180 and really focus on house and dance music before I started Third Floor Sounds.
yeah,
So I was like, all right, let me take a pause on these gigs that I was doing. Let me start something new. But I'm like, how am I going to get booked? Um, and I was like, wait, why don't I just start something of my own again? And, you know, there were plenty of intentions I had behind starting Third Floor, but it also allowed me to showcase a new side of myself. And even on the curation side, that like, you know, I have a wealth of knowledge and history with house music, and now I'm gonna pivot and showcase
absolutely.
that. So it was, there were a lot of things that allowed me to do.
So what about, because I know you mentioned hip hop and R&B, they're, in terms of a sound, there's not much that you can kind of get excited about, right? What do
As of
you,
recently,
as
yeah.
of recently, I would say. So what do you think you can, I guess, what would the cause of that be from your perspective?
I mean, like if you go out now and go to your average hip hop and R&B party, which there's plenty of DJs and plenty of parties that are great, you're gonna hear the same things.
Yeah, you are.
Whereas if you go to more underground house, electronic dance music, you're not gonna hear the same things. And I think for me, I just get a little tired of repetition.
Yeah,
But also, kind of what you were speaking about earlier, people want to sing along and they want to hear certain songs that they're hearing on the radio or Spotify. So you get a lot of requests, and people are waiting to have their moment where they can sing along or do a dance they know. But in these other scenes, especially like where I'm in Bushwick, people are just dancing, and you know, doesn't matter what the next song is. Like, of course, they're excited by it, but they're there to dance and
yeah,
explore. And it was a bit of more of an open minded, I guess, field, which I really started to appreciate because I moved to Bushwick about 3, 4 years ago, and I would start to explore these scenes at
yeah.
like Nowadays, Bossa Nova, Paragon, and those were the best nights I had. So I was like, I like this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna run with it. And so far, I've enjoyed it a lot.
So I think when I think about like hip hop and R&B versus, I guess, maybe some of the more, what are perceived as like alt sounds like house, EDM, because when you think about it, EDM probably has a larger fan base than hip hop and R&B when you think about the numbers and the population of who consumes it, right? And I'm just
Yeah.
off the top of my head, like when I see these huge events that are like thousands and thousands of people,
It's EDM
it's
or
EDM.
dance
Like
events. Yeah.
it's very uncommon that I would see that level at like a hip hop and R&B event to the clip that it happens, right? I know those things happen, but the clip, the consistency of it is not the same. So I wonder if the fact that like hip hop and R&B kind of serves as like a tastemaker to a lot of different genres, that they are kind of fixated on something that works, something that's cool, something that's like a proven commodity. So there's less rewarding for trial and error, for I guess approaching to find if we can grasp a new sound or a new feel, where they kind of just have to go, we know these 10 avenues work, maybe cement your success in that, and then if you're successful there, maybe you can try. Where for me, when I see like the house, the EDM, and like I said, I'm speaking from the perspective of the knowledge I have because I'm not an expert in these things. I feel like there's more reward early on trying something new in those spaces, and I'm not sure why that is, but I think maybe that could be why you see more varied sounds in a way that may be more enticing to you than hip hop and R&B. Like you think about the biggest acts in hip hop and R&B for the last, I want to say decade. The biggest three acts from even let's say rap for I'm 30. It was kind of the same when I was 20. So there's not really been much deviation.
Chris Brown, T-Pain,
Chris Brown, T-Pain. If you want
Akon,
to go
whatever.
rap, you have Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole. Some of the biggest people are still the biggest people. So it's like, okay, when do we get a new feel or a new sound to be excited about? It's kind of the same music, which I'm not mad at, but to the point of there's nothing to be excited about from people we're not ready to be excited from. It's like the usual suspects.
And there are also new genres that are coming out or being kind of further developed in dance and electronic music. Like I was just filling out this form for a radio show out in Seoul, and they show you a list of like genres that you can kind of submit or tag yourself. There were hip hop and R&B, dancehall, Afrobeat, and whatnot, and then you look to dance and electronic, and there were like 42 subgenres. There's just a lot more experimentation and new things coming out. Like I've been really into like hard groove lately and experimenting with that. Even going a little old school and like understanding like Chicago juke is really fun, but there are so many different lanes and a lot of them do work together in a set if you experiment enough, but I think there's just a little bit more diversity of genres and sounds.
Definitely a good point. So has there been a turning point or experience that forced you to maybe rethink or maybe grow or retool how you approached your work?
With Third Floor in particular.
Yeah, or anything that you want to mention that in regards to that.
Well, with Third Floor, I did have a bit of a breaking point. I think it was like volume 6 or 7. So for context, I think you know this, but I pretty much up until like a couple weeks ago, I do everything myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm DJing, I'm recording, I'm like mastering the mixes, y- posting all the YouTube videos, I'm making all the clips. Like I'm talking with the venues, I'm booking the DJs, and it just felt a lot at one point. I remember like I was like a little bit behind on some clips and like posting some of the YouTube videos, and I was like, this is a little too much for me because I have a full-time job, which doesn't get in the way, but like Third Floor was consuming all my downtime and my
Yeah.
personal time. So I think I was already like pretty good with time management, but this really forced me to step it up and be a bit more
Absolutely.
scheduled. Like
Yeah.
I don't procrastinate, but I was doing things a week of. Whereas like now I think I'm a bit smarter with my time and I anticipate certain conversations or, planning the next event. But it also forced me to ask for help a little bit. Even the smallest things helped a lot. Like I would ask friends to help me set up and break down. I would ask them to help me like level out the mixes afterward. I would ask for an extra hand at the door, even if it required paying them. It was worth it.
Yeah. Peace of mind.
Now I'm at the point where I'm trying to build a small team of people who are like, matching my passion and energy for
Which
it.
is always challenging.
And I just took on someone under my wing a couple weeks ago, and even just that extra hand has been super helpful. Just someone to bounce ideas off of, because like as you pointed to, a lot of people are doing similar things now, so it's forcing me to experiment a little bit more
Yeah.
and try new things, which I've always been open to doing. That was like the essence of Third Floor in the first place.
Absolutely.
So I think like it forced me to be smarter with my time, take some risks, ask for help, and that really changed things for the better to the point where it's a lot more manageable. Even though I'm doing bigger projects and
Yeah.
bigger scale events now.
I think that's great have the to have those extra hands, but also have the confidence in what you're building, that you have an understanding of your mission so much that you can kind of now expand that and bring in more people to your team, where it's like, no, I've always been someone, because I'm kind of like you in that way, where very hands-on, very meticulous, things have to be particular.
Yeah, it's bad
It
sometimes.
is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
bad. And there's a point where it inhibits growth. So I feel like you kind of, that breaking point was understanding that. It's like, okay, I've been great to do this on my own, but to get to the next level, I have to not only expand the brand, but help create, kind of craft a team that allows me to be in more places than once, at least from like a value and mission standpoint. And I think that can be hard, but if you choose the right people, it always is very, very rewarding.
Yeah,
As
it's
you're
tough. It's
starting to
tough
see.
to find the right people. There's a lot
Yeah,
of trial and error and
absolutely.
experimentation, but like when someone really shows you that they can do good work
Yeah,
on time and also again match your passion, I think that's the big thing
yeah,
because like
hardest part.
a lot of people want to do things that are cool and just be associated with it, but when it comes down to it, like they don't match it.
There's no circumventing hard work. And I think where we live today, there's a lot of things that make you seem like you can get away from it. And I think that's why a lot of people fail. A lot of people face challenges when like things get hard, because the hard work will always be the hard work. There's no way to get around that. And if you try to get around it, you'll learn the lesson. You just might learn it at a different cost than you would have learned it if you just didn't approach it head on with good intention and have really a meticulous approach to whatever your goal is. So life will always teach you the lesson you're avoiding. You just might have to pay more for it. And I
Again,
really
I would
believe
vote
that.
for you. You're dropping bars, yeah.
But yeah, I'm a firm believer in the right team for sure.
So you got
So
a great team here too. I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even know you had a whole team.
they hold me down. They hold me down very often. So I'll say one more thing I have for you is, I know your dad was a huge impact on not only your musical taste and the way you kind of color it, but I was reading an article and you said he had a quote, and it was, "You're not ready for this tea." And I thought that
Yeah.
was cool, just like having that kind of catchphrase with you and your dad, right? So when you hear that, what's like the first song that comes to your head when you hear that quote? "You're not ready for this tea."
He still says it to this day too.
Really?
Like
Okay.
we'll be in the car. He's like, "Don't say anything. Watch this. Just listen."
Just take it in.
Yeah, he holds his music taste to a very high standard,
Okay.
which I'll give it to him. There was, iTunes when they had podcasts.
Yes.
So that was like the way to share DJ mixes before. I mean, Apple Music does it now in a different way, but like that was like the first version of like sharing DJ mixes. It was
Yeah.
on iTunes podcasts, and it's not there anymore. So this is like a deep cut. I don't even know where I can find this guy, but there's a series called That's House by DJ Matt.
Okay.
It was the most incredible mix. There were like at least 100, 150 of them. And it was just these incredible deep house, soulful house, Latin house mixes. And he would play them on like long car rides or like
Okay.
trips upstate. And there's one in particular, I still have it saved on my laptop. It blew me away.
Really?
Like, I think that was like my awakening for like, damn, I love house music.
Wow. Okay.
There were these like beautiful like Portuguese vocals. It started off more deep, and then like an hour in, you find yourself listening to more disco house, and it was just like this incredible journey. Like I was quiet the whole time because I was just taking it. There's so many textures, so many drums, so many melodies, but yeah, he said you're not ready for this one, and I
He
wasn't.
wasn't
I
ready.
wasn't physically prepared, but
I
I
love that.
still I still play it to this day. I show all my close friends. I kind of gatekeep it, but now people
Yeah.
know.
No, I
But you
like
can't
that.
find it. I have it all downloaded. I don't know why they took them down, and I can't find that DJ. I think he was maybe Parisian or based in Paris, but he would have these voiceovers of like, "You're now listening to," and then he'd have all these incredible people like Louis Vega, like, "Yo, it's Louis Vega. You're tuned into That's House
Oh, like
with DJ
yeah,
Matt,"
that's dope. Those
but
kind of
he's
drops.
nowhere to be seen. Like, he took down all of his mixes. I can't find him on social. So
That's crazy.
if he's watching, I've always wanted to meet him and talk to him. DJ Matt. It's the most generic name.
DJ Mad?
Matt, Matt.
MATT. Well, DJ
Incredible.
Matt, if this video finds you, you gotta
I
connect
need to
with
meet
Tyler,
him one
man.
day. Yeah.
That's crazy. I love that you can kind of just call on that memory, and it really kind of almost like a formative moment for you
Mhm.
to like the path of who you are and how you became to, to be sit on this couch and kind of create
Yeah.
third floor sounds. So last thing I have for you is Who is Tyler?
Mm. Yeah, that's a deep one. I'd say I have a lot of different dimensions. Like, I mean, through this interview, you've learned that I'm definitely like a music lover.
Absolutely.
Um, I've always liked kind of identifying with like being a connector or a curator of sense. I really do find a lot of enjoyment like introducing people, connecting people with great opportunities in music and creative spaces per se. So like I love curating music and I love sharing it with others. I'm a cat dad, you know, that's a part of my identity. But yeah, I'm just like I'd say I'm a relatively like down to earth guy. You know, I love music. I love different creative spaces. Um, but yeah, I just a guy who enjoys his life in Brooklyn and loves his close circle of friends and family.
I love that. I love that. So before we let you go, is there anything, any projects you have, any initiatives you're a part of that you kind of just want to shed light to, maybe shout out before we head on out of here?
We'll definitely subscribe to Third Floor Sounds on YouTube. Check out our incredible mixes we've put up. I'm probably doing another one at the end of this month. Yeah, I do gigs here and there this summer, going into fall. So follow me if you want to check out my gigs. But no, no plugs of anything in particular. Just me, Third Floor Sounds. Check out the mixes.
All right, well, Third Floor Sounds is a plug. That's Tyler. I'm Yoru. This is Inside the Vibe, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.